Hi guys, and welcome to another video. This video is part 6 in the life of Bruce Lee. If you haven't already subscribed, it'd be amazing if you could. Drop a like and a share and a comment if you've got any questions, okay? That'd be great. So, part 6. Now, where we left off the last video, I briefly mentioned after his massive success in Hong Kong, Big Boss, Fist of Fury and then Way of the Dragon. He then starred in his partially completed Game of Death. Now, what happens after Way of the Dragon? He was massive in Hong Kong, but he had a lot more control. He had a freer contract. He wasn't contracted to Raymond Chell, where he's just required to star in his films and that's it. Didn't have any other input. He had much more input and kind of really whatever he wanted to do, he could do. Okay. So the next film, as I say, was Game of Death. Now, originally the plan was to be a film that was a vehicle for his own philosophy in martial art, but that can be applied to life also. And the original plan was to have this pagoda, and each pagoda, the pagoda had levels, different levels. So what would happen is you go in with a team of fighters and go up these levels. Okay, each level was guarded by a different martial artist. For example, you had like a kung fu stylist. The next level would be like the Filipino stylist with the sticks. Then you had like a grappling expert, like Hapkido expert, and these people would have to fight their way up the pagoda. Eventually, being guarded by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which was a massive basketball star at that time. Who was a style of the unknown. And of course, the reason they had to adapt their style. Now, Bruce's philosophy was you couldn't have a fixed style. He didn't believe in styles of martial arts. So the idea was you go in and these different fighters who went in would maybe get up certain levels and then they get killed, I guess. But Bruce would have to adapt his style each time to defeat these people, okay? Now, he filmed 3 different fight scenes. One with Danny Santo, his top student in JKD. With Jihan Jae, who was a Korean Hapkido expert, who take care of the kind of joint locking and grappling floor. And he filmed the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fight also. So, what happened is he filmed these 3 scenes, about 30-40 minutes worth, when Hollywood finally came knocking. I believe it was Fred Weintraub who flew over to Hong Kong, who basically said, we've got this script, Warner Brothers want to do it with you, and would you like to do it? So production on the Game of Death was stopped immediately. Originally a plan to go back to it after completion of this film, promising film from Warner Brothers. Now this film has become what is generally worldwide known as the greatest martial art film ever made, even till now. Now, some people disagree on that. I don't. I think it's the benchmark, and it's even if whether you think it's good or no good, it's kind of the one everyone knows. You've had many films since then, great films, but if you want a martial art film, the first thing most people think of is Enter the Dragon. So this was started filming in late 1972 to be completed early 1973. It was the first major Hollywood and Chinese or Hong Kong production. Okay, you had Hong Kong films up till then, you had American films. It's kind of the first one really to be big and merge the 2 together. So I won't go in the whole process of making it, but it was massive. I think by Warner Brothers standards, it was done at a bit of a budget, but even then, it was quite a lot for the Chinese film industry, and what was to become one of Warner Brothers' most grossing films ever. Okay, so and that what made Bruce Lee a star in the whole world. Now, anyone who doesn't know the story, Bruce Lee completed Enter the Dragon. This was around April 1973. He completed it. His starring parts things like that. And the film was kind of made into, I guess, a pre-finished state, like a draft, if you like. And that is when, unfortunately, Bruce Lee passed away. He passed away, I think, whilst finishing... No, sorry, he fainted whilst finishing dubbing for the film. And then, as I say, he got it into kind of a first draft. The only thing what didn't happen was it wasn't released. It was released in August '73, by which time Bruce had died. So that's where I'll leave this video. On the next one, I won't go into too much detail, but I'll explain roughly what happened, and after, when he died, it kind of what happened afterwards, and the legacy he left also. Okay guys, so until that video, stay safe and train hard, and I'll see you then.